So for the past couple of days, I've been doing the 6 rules of life, or to create a successful life. I'm on rule number 6 today. This is my favorite rule, the one I'm still working on, one that I'm still getting my head wrapped around, and I want to give it to you right now. It's called playing the infinite game. Playing the infinite game. Not calling yourself out, not giving up, but continuing to play. It's my favorite rule, to play the infinite game. There is a book that was written, I think 15 years ago, maybe longer, by a gentleman by the name of James Cars, C-A-R-S-E. Great book. And in his book, the title of the book, by the way, is called Finite and Infinite Games. And in that book, he describes what a finite game and an infinite game is. A finite game is played for the purpose of winning that particular game. An infinite game is played for the purpose of staying in the game or continuing to play. Playing the infinite game is about continuing to play. That's the game you want to get into. You see, we measure things like in quarters and wins. If we win that client, did we win that business? And it's over if we didn't. There's always going to be more business. There's always going to be another quarter. You need to take the idea of a concept and plant that in your mind that you're in it to continue to play. This is the infinite mindset. It is also the mindset of the person who is continuously learning and developing him or herself. And they're continuing to learn to better themselves from the inside out, not from the outside in. See, the finite game is played by the rules of somebody else that society puts on us. But in truth, there aren't any rules society puts on us. It's the rules that we accept that society says is the way the game is played. We don't have to accept those rules. I'm saying you can continue to play. I'll give you an example. In baseball, in the United States, we play a game called baseball. The batter goes into the batter's box, gets his bat up, and he waits for the pitch. He gets 3 strikes and he's out. Okay, he swings 3 times, he misses, he's out. Okay, in the game of life, in the infinite game, the purpose is to stay in the batter's box and keep swinging or find the right pitch so that you can hit the ball. And you want to get better. That's the infinite game. Simon Sinek talks about James Cars' book as well. And he has subsequently written his own book. I have not read it, but I'm going to. But he talks about this infinite game. He gives the example where he was at a Microsoft conference several years ago when they came out with a Microsoft Zune. Do you remember that device? That was supposedly to compete with the iPod. And then he went to the Apple headquarters and he gave a speech or a talk, and he was sitting in the back of a cab with one of the Apple executives, and he said, Microsoft has really got a great device. It's called this Zune. And apparently the other gentleman from Apple said, no doubt. What he was saying was, doesn't matter. They may have a better device than us, but we're in it for the infinite game. We will be continuing to develop devices that will be better. His device, their device, may be better at this time. Doesn't matter. We continue to play. We continue to play because we compete against ourselves. We don't compete with how society tells us to compete. I want you to think about that mindset. Instead of going quarter to quarter, and I know we've got to make numbers, it is critical. But the second way to look at it is, yes, this quarter and this quarter and this quarter, we're playing the infinite game. I'm going to give you with one last story. I guess it was 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. My daughter and I went to New York City, and we went to the Museum of Natural History. And in the museum, obviously, they have dinosaurs, all these cool things. And then they have these glass, boxes with these creatures that were on Earth millions of years ago. All these bones and reconstruction, and then there were fossils, but they showed a timeline of when this creature was roaming the Earth several millions of years ago. And to put it in perspective, they showed this little dot at the end, how long man or mankind has been in existence. We barely even registered on the line. It was incredible. I can also remember I was wrestling with a problem at work on vacation, and it was a problem. There was some politics going on, and I felt like it was a disaster. The world was coming to an end. And then I saw that timeline of how long mankind's been in existence. And it put everything in perspective. That specific day, that specific hour, that specific minute doesn't even register. Think long term. All the worries, things that you think are so important right now, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, you won't even remember what they were. They're non-existent. If I asked you what you were worried about a month ago, you couldn't remember. Remember, it's the infinite game. The purpose of the infinite game is to continue to play. I'm Joe Murphy, and I am here for your success. Thanks for watching.